Oh, he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Metal Customs. Today, of course, we're back on our 62 Comet project. Last video, we've done a lot of stuff on the interior. So today, when I finally got back to it, I decided I'm going to do some work on the outside of the car. Mainly, what I'd like to get accomplished now is some headlights. And maybe make our grill. We'll see if we got enough materials to do that. But I do have the old factory headlight buckets and some bulbs for reference. Of course, we won't be using these old school bulbs. The best I can remember, they make some bulbs that go in here. It's just got an opening in the back so you can put the regular type bulbs in, you know, that would have been on the 99 Mustang. But we'll have to hunt them up. But for now, these work for us getting everything mocked up and set. Come over here a little closer. We're going to start on this side over here and try to get this figured out and get a really good fit. Alright, well, as you can see, the headlight goes in here, of course. But we want them setting in, because remember, we're going to do a phantom grille that goes over everything. I thought we would have to move the windshield washer bottle in here, but we don't. This thing is going to work out just perfect, just like that right there. It's close to the washer bottle, but it's not hitting it, so we're good. What I'm proposing to do is just make a plate, flat plate that'll go in here, and we get a bolt here. There's a couple places for bolt holes here, because we don't want these headlights shaking around. But in order to do that, we need to move these horns right here. They just take a half inch. I think we can take them loose, pivot them, and put them right back in that same holder, I do believe. Well, I got them off and got to looking at them. They weren't even hooked up, and all the little tabs are broke. So, this right here, we're not even going to worry with. Jump. We can put horns on it later and locate them anywhere. It's no big deal. But now we need to get us a, like a pattern here. So let's grab us a piece of cardboard and a pen. See if we can get something marked out here to make us a cool pattern for our plate. Got a template cut out, and it fits in there pretty good. Yeah, just like so. Roughly just like so, but it does fit. So what I'm going to do is take this template over, transfer it to a piece of metal, but I'm going to add some right here, because I'd like for it to go under there and go a little bit behind this right here, just to give it a smoother look back there. Alright, well that went well. Let's see if we can transfer this properly and get the piece of metal cut out and then see how it fits. Alright, we got that traced out pretty good. Of course that is upside down. It'll be like that right there. Well, let's see if we can cut this without mangling it up too terribly. Alright, the rest of this we'll just hand cut it. Alright, got her all cut out. Our holes drilled. This should be the piece that goes up against the subframe. But the big thing is, we'll see if it fits. Wiggle jiggle. A lot of wiggle jiggle. And bam, look at that. I couldn't ask for no better than that. I do like it. And this should sit just right up against that. Yeah, that will be perfect, perfect. All right, now how we got that in there and how we can get it back out without bending it up and breaking it. Okay. Now this thing's going to be bolted in 3 places, which should make it pretty stiff. But still, what I'd like to do is go ahead and go over to the bead roller. Just run some beads across this. That'll stiffen it up and give it a little bit of a better look as well. So let's run over and do that. I went ahead and made me some marks. We'll do one across this line, this line, this line, and this line, which I think will make it look pretty good. Let's just get a look-see here and see what we think about it. Grab our monster wrench here, get a little tightening. Not too bad. At least that gives it a little bit more flair, and it does add some strength to it. All right, guys, I got that plate bolted in there. It's got 2 bolts on it. That's good enough to hold it. And what I've done, took our headlight assembly and held it up there where I think it ought to be. Went ahead and marked my holes. So let me grab my drill. I'll go ahead and get this drilled out. I've got some little bolts with some wing nut washer type nuts on them. So we'll get this thing bolted up and see how it looks. And if it looks like that's going to work, then I'll go ahead and do the same on the other side. Got the headlights bolted in. Matter of fact, you can see the other side there. I got both of them done. Yeah, they're not perfectly straight, and that's okay. I know there's going to be some adjustments and whatnot going on with that, and I have no problem with that. My basic thing I wanted to get done was get that metal plate made and bolt these up and see if this idea will work, and it will. We can put spacers in it, move it around, do whatever. But the real reason behind all of that is so we can make this grill. And like I say, I really would like to do a phantom grill on this thing, but just not sure how it's going to work out or how I'm going to make it out of what material I do have. But as of right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think on this for a few minutes. Of course, y'all, it'd only be a second because slash editing. But I'm going to run in the house and grab a bite to eat. I'm hungry. And come back out here and we'll put some real thought into what style of a grill we're going to make for this thing, because it's going to be tricky. Because remember, I went ahead and opened up the hood all the way. See, we've got all this here that the hood cannot hit against. So, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. All right, well, I'm back from lunch. And took a lot of time to think about this, and what I've decided to do, just make a headlight cover for each side, and then we'll make it like a center grill. And what I've come up with is I've got some sheet metal here. It's still pretty thick, but it's not too bad to work with. But the good thing about it, it's good basic steel and it'll weld good. So we have to come out some, of course, in order to get over a headlight. So what I'm doing right now is taking this piece and bending it. This will be our little outer piece here. It goes somewhere roughly in there like that. And I'll try to get that bent around and then come straight up. We're going to end it right here at the fender. Have a straight line here. Then we'll come in and make us a plate. Go over here, put the hole and stuff in it. Of course, I've Done this pretty wide. It's going to be a lot of cutting, a lot of grinding, but I want to get this rolled around here and see if that idea is even going to come close to working. Well, let me get to bending on this and fiddling with it. It's going to take a few minutes, and then we'll see how this turns out. Well, here's what I got so far. I mean, it's really slow going. That is the bezel frame, I reckon we'll call it, around that headlight. I thought I'd done pretty good on that one, which took me forever. Then I bend this one up and weld it in like 5 minutes. And it fits a lot better at the top. So I'm going to have to redo the top of that one. I want to get this up there just a little bit higher. That won't be no big deal. But now the next question is how to attach these. Because you got to be able to get into the headlight and adjust it and all of that. And there's going to be a plate over top of everything. And that plate's going to be probably welded. So that's what I got to think of next. I actually thought about welding this to the fender and making it permanent. I might come there and fiberglass that, get it all smooth and contoured. And then the piece that goes over here, make it where it bolts in. Well, decisions. Well, I've been fooling with this thing all day long. It's end of the day, I'm tired, I'm ready for my coffee. So I'm gonna think on this tonight and come back out here in the morning and decide what I'm gonna do. I'm really leaning towards welding these to the fender. I just think that'll be a nicer look than have this panel where it just bolts on. And like I say, then we can get to making our grill here, which I don't think that's going to be a big deal. But yeah, I'll think on this, and like I say, it'll be a second to y'all, but I'll be back in the morning, and we'll keep on keeping on. All right, guys, I thought about this a lot, and I mean a lot. And the more I thought about it, the more I just didn't like the idea of the round headlights and that weird metal work I was having to do. And I worked on it and thought on it, and it's just not going to fly. As you can tell, I done took it all back apart. What I'm going to do, or what I want to do, is actually use the Mustang headlight. There's several advantages here. For one, everything will hook up. We don't have to buy nothing else. That's a big plus. For two, we have this header panel here that originally came off the Mustang. So when it's bolted up to the frame of the car, we know that the headlights are going to be straight, level, and all that business. So that right there is a big plus for me. And the third biggest thing, this is going to be totally off the hook as far as custom goes on this front end. And that is the biggest thing that interests me about doing it this way. Now we're going to have to come and cut. Maybe you can see I've already got a line drawn here. We'll have to cut into our fenders because these headlights wrap around. And this gives us blinkers and parking lights on the sides. So we can do away with these in the bumper. I can just put a piece of metal over that and weld it, because the bumper's going to be painted anyway. So all in all, I think this is a much better idea. It's going to be some tricky metal work to make it look right, but I think I'd rather go and through that much work and have these headlights in there. To me, it'll just look a lot better. I am going to do a little fitting and stuff and look a little further before I get so dedicated to cut these. But as of now, I think that's the way we're going to go. Now, I know a lot of y'all are saying, well, you know, we watched all that video of you making them pieces and everything, and that was a lot of time wasted. Well, sorry that y'all had to watch that, but as you know, a lot of this is trial and error stuff, especially when it comes to doing fully custom work. And I want y'all to see, you know, the trial and error stuff you know, what's involved and what happens, and you change your mind or something just isn't working right, because this is the real of it. Not like a bunch of them shows to where you, okay, well, here's a pile of rusted crap, and 20 minutes later, it's a $100,000 show car, and they didn't show you nothing involved, really. I'm not into that. What I'm into is showing you the real aspects of really building custom vehicles and doing stuff. So that's where we're at. Let me fiddle around with a couple more measurements and looking and stuff, and then we'll really dig into this. All right, well, I've taken all my measurements. Got this sitting dead center, or hopefully it's dead center. By measurements it is. Got the brackets in where this will hold out some, because when this headlight goes in, there's just a little piece that goes down in there that holds them in. So in doing all of that, I had to remark my lines, do some remeasuring, but I think that that's going to take care of us. Well, let me go ahead and grab the Sawzall and cut these fenders, and we'll see. Well, this has been quite a mess. I've been fiddling with this thing for a while, trying to figure it out. And what I think I'm going to do from here, I mean, we're going to use these. I don't went through this much trouble, we're going to use them. Is go ahead and cut this center section here out, get rid of this. Then we can take these and move them outwards. If I can get this edge here, right at the edge of the fender, then there won't be as much. Now we're going to have to extend this front end out with the curvature of this headlight. I think at the furthest point here is like, what we got? 6 inches will come to here. So yeah, that's going to be quite something to do. Well, here again, welcome to the world of customizing cars. When you get into stuff, I mean, you get into stuff. Now, it might have been easier for me to just make a big phantom grille and put some LED headlights tucked back in there and all of that, but you're also talking about spending a lot of money, and still, it's a lot of time. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is cut this, move these outwards, and I'm going to work with this. As far as getting this right here made to where it comes in with the headlight, and trying to get, you know, some sheet metal made here, I don't really see that to be a super problem. The problem is the bottom here. Looks like a man have to take his bumper loose, come all the way out here and pick it up and put it on here. But let's get the top part done, then we'll worry about the bottom part. Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and take all this stuff apart again, and cut these, and move these out, and see how much better that looks to us. And another thing, you got to remember, and I've done open this hood 100 times, when this hood's open, it comes to about right here. So we've got to keep that in mind too. We're going to have to make some kind of blank header panel in here once everything's said and done. Yeah, we can manipulate that to get around there. This here, we're not going to bend it up. We're going to cut a lot of this out and then put some metal in. Which this fender here, looking at it, don't ask me why. I reckon just to cover up a dent. But I mean, as thick as this metal is and in good shape as it's in, I could take a hammer and dolly and get the majority of that out instead of putting in 20 pounds of Bondo. Well, I'm going to take my hammer and a chisel, probably get a bunch of Bondo out here. Then we'll keep on with this line here. I've got this connected here, but I've got some workaround room here. About right there is our ideal spot. Once I get it there, I'll make a bracket here and back that'll go over and hold it still. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and make this bracket and get that sitting exactly where it's going to. Knocked out some more of this Bondo. I'm just going to take the grinder to it. Just appears right here in this lower part. I'll take the bumper off and we'll get the rest of it. But hey, at least fender ain't rusty plumb through. Just because of Bondo on it. But yeah, let me come up with some kind of cool bracket here. It's really going to hold that steady. And then we'll carry on destroying this fender. Well, alright guys. Today's Friday. So let's see what we can get done in this last day before this video will be edited and put out. Need to make the braces to hold our headlight plastics in. Keep them from doing this. And also we need to brace this pan here because our fender's got this going on. Can't have that business neither. To get everything easy, if I take off the bumper, I can get at it a lot better and see what I'm doing. Besides, probably going to have to move the bumper anyway. So let me go ahead and get the bumper off and then we'll get on the braces. All right, we're getting that bumper off. Gives us a lot more room to get in there and see what we're doing. As you can see right here, that is the bumper brace. Now, I don't know if we're going to use it again for the bumper. It's hard to say at this point. But it's a real good brace coming out here. So what I've done, I just grabbed me a nice thick piece of steel, bent her into a 90 and marked it. So we'll just get this here, that'll bolt here, and weld here on each side. And that'll get rid of that wobble right there. And then up here, actually the top of this fender, this inner piece right here, we can use to just bolt that right to it. Put a screw in it or whatever. I think that'll work. But let's get these done first, and then we'll move up to these. Got our brackets done here, bolted up really good. It really helped that side-to-side movement on that and the other side. Now I'm going to drop the collar down. Like I say, we got this sheet metal under here. On the original fender, it's going to like cut out a tab and bend it down. Then we can just run a screw straight through and mount them solid. Alright, got everything in there. Got the headlights mounted back in. And you can see I have the tape here on the headlight. Well, that is where our line is. She'll stop right here against the edge of the tape, and right on the outside of the tape. That's where we want our metal work to end up at. So, trying to get y'all a good camera angle, and I think this is about the best. I got some metal here. That was that weird piece. I just cut it out of that. So what we're going to do is start here and get our flat going first. Let me just get this thing rolling the way we want it to roll. And like I say, this is going to be a time-consuming process, no doubt. Use my hand roller. I just use the edge of this. Yeah, it makes a good round, nice 90. Alright, y'all sort of get an idea of what I'm doing now that you see what's going on here. Try to get that in there just a little bit closer. Now, what we're going to do, we know it's where we want that inner piece to be. So, go ahead and make us a mark here. Yeah, mark's a little wiggly, but I know where I'm cutting at. Okay, and on our bottom edge, I think actually on the bottom we can just taper off where we're going. Like so. Alright, well let me get that cut out and then fit it in there and then we'll keep on keeping on. Alright, I got that piece cut out, ground down and cleaned off. I know, weird looking piece, ain't it? But it does fit. It sits in there just like that. Then that'll go in there just like so. I cut too much off the bottom of this. That's okay. I got me a little shim piece I can go up in here and get that. But what I'm going to have to do here is I'll start up here at the top and get the welding. Just weld, tack, as I push it all in and get it going with my line because my line's good. But let me get that all tacked and weld it in there and then we'll go on to the next step. Well, there we go. I got that piece right there roughed in. Went ahead and grind it out. But yeah, that's a good start. I mean, yeah, I'm just filling in here. What I'll do, I won't use like a lot of filler. I'll come in here and weld, and grind, weld and grind. So that'll be all steel. Same way with the little corner spot there. But yeah, that's not looking too bad. That's getting the general idea of what I'm after so far. Alright, so now we got to continue this piece of steel here on out. Well, on out to here. And then figure out what we're going to do here and how we're going to do it. But first, I'm going to grab me a bite of lunch. Be right back. Alright, so here's what I got so far. Y'all just seen this. Went ahead and made this extension out here and made this piece. So next what I'm going to have to do is come up here. I figured from here, nice line down to here, keep it all sort of symmetrical. So I'm going to have to figure out how to make this all fit in. And I know what some of y'all are saying right now. Well, that may look cool when it's all said and done, but it's not going to match up when the hood's shut. You're exactly right. Because right through here is going to be flat so that the hood's able to open. But what I'm going to do, or what I plan to do, is take the same curve that I'm coming off of here, come up to here, from here to here, and extend this hood out just like the front end, just like the fenders are extended out. That way, everything will look correct, everything will be on out here at distance. Now we will have these flat spots here, which I think are actually going to look cool. But let me continue working on this here. Like I said, I got to figure out how to get this because we got to go down and around at the same time. Yeah, I can see there's going to be several pieces involved in this one, so let's get to it. Got our little piece made. It's got a weird curve to it, don't it? Yeah, a lot of time over there on the little English wheel. Yeah, I know, if I'd had one of the full-size ones, it probably would have went a lot quicker. But hey, that little one does fine for what I use it for. It's just a little more time consuming. But as you can see, It does fit in there like it's supposed to. I like it. Yeah, not bad at all. Let me get this welded in, and then we'll see how much more time we have to get some more done. And there we have that piece. We've got her all welded in and ground down, so you can pretty much see the general idea of where I'm headed. Like I say, this thing that comes out right here, I'm going to duplicate it here on the hood, with the flat areas, of course, being in here. We've got to make it where we can still pull our headlight and whatnot out too. It's another thing we're going to have to redo these latches on the headlights, because they're supposed to slide in the top, and that ain't going to work. We'll probably have them slide through the bottom with maybe a little self-tapper or something just holding them up in there, but we'll check into that. That's minor stuff compared to the major stuff that we're working on. But hey, we're getting it there. Now I just need to come in here and make another piece. Just not real sure on it. So far so good. Well guys, I almost forgot. Remember we welded that tab in here, put that bolt in here to hold this fender on. So we can't get all this made and welded. We're going to have to drill a hole in here. We drill it, I don't know, maybe dent it in or something, give it a little bit of cosmetic look. I don't think it'll be a bad looking thing. Let's go ahead and get that done. And there we go. That ain't looking too bad. I'll have to finish up with a lot bigger bit. Now this is, what is this? 8mm, 5/16, same thing. Go in there. Yes, it'll undo it. And the bolt itself is no bigger than the outside of the socket, so it will come out. I do believe. Yeah, it's little things like this that you really got to watch out for, because if not, I mean, they can come back to bite you, that's for sure. Well guys, I think I'm going to call it for this week. I drilled that hole, right? Because I was thinking a little bit too much. Yeah, I've been out here too long. All you got to do is take the headlight out and go right under there and get that bolt. So, I'm going to weld that hole back up tomorrow, whenever. Not going to do it today. Like I say, we're going to call it for this week. I know we didn't get a lot done. We made a lot of mistakes, and we tried some different things that just didn't suit me and just didn't work out for me. But I mean, like I say, that's part of it. When you're doing custom work, you never know what you're going to get into. But I like this idea. This is going to be totally wicked when it's done. And of course, already this car is pretty much a one-off. But, I mean, there's a lot of other people putting old bodies on newer cars. So I'm not doing anything new or fantastic there. But Fox body tail lights, the fender redoing, blah, 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 and things like this. This is a lot of stuff like that people do not do. And getting so extensive as to stretch this front end out. You know, this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing. You know, I just want to build one-offs, one-of-a-kind, far-out vehicles. And that's what I want to do. Well, enough yapping. Guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you would, throw me down some comments. If you're able, hit us up on Patreon. And please, like, share, and subscribe. And remember, keep a lookout for next week for another video. And should have a lot of this front end done on next week, I do assume. We'll just see how that goes. Again, appreciate it much. Until the next one, y'all have a fantastic day.